Imagine a life where positive changes don't require Herculean effort, but instead unfold from the smallest of actions, repeated over time. That's the core idea behind James Clear's best-selling book, Atomic Habits, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. In this transformative guide, Clear explores the science of habits, showing how tiny adjustments in our daily routines can lead to remarkable results. Let's dive deep into the main insights and actionable strategies from this influential book. At the heart of Atomic Habits is the concept that habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Just as money multiplies through compound interest, the effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. They may seem insignificant at first, but over months and years, these small behaviors can lead to significant outcomes. The book begins by challenging the notion that massive success requires massive action. Instead, it argues that real change comes from the accumulation of many small decisions, what Clear calls atomic habits, meaning tiny changes that are both easy to do and incredibly powerful over time. Clear introduces the idea of the 1% improvement. If you get just 1% better each day, those tiny gains add up to something extraordinary. Conversely, if you get 1% worse each day, you'll find yourself in a very different place a year from now. This compounding effect is the engine behind both success and failure. But how do habits actually work? Clear explains that every habit follows a four-step pattern: cue, craving, response, and reward. First, there's a cue, a trigger that initiates the behavior. Next comes a craving, the motivational force behind every habit. Then the response, the actual habit you perform. Finally, the reward, the end goal of every habit, which satisfies your craving and teaches your brain to repeat the process. Understanding this loop is key to building good habits and breaking bad ones. To help readers harness the power of habits, Clear introduces the 4 laws of behavior change. These laws serve as a framework for creating good habits and eliminating bad ones. The first law is to make it obvious. This means designing your environment in a way that cues your desired behavior. For example, if you want to read more, place a book on your pillow each morning so you'll see it at night. The second law is to make it attractive. Habits are easier to adopt when they're appealing, so pair a habit you want to form with something you enjoy. The third law is to make it easy. Reduce friction by breaking habits into small, manageable steps. The fourth law is to make it satisfying. Immediate rewards help reinforce positive behavior, so find ways to celebrate your wins no matter how small. Breaking bad habits relies on inverting these laws. Make the cues for bad habits invisible, make them unattractive, make them difficult, and make them unsatisfying. For instance, if you want to cut down on junk food, hide it out of sight or don't buy it at all. If checking your phone distracts you from work, leave it in another room. Clear also emphasizes the importance of identity in habit formation. True behavior change is identity change. Instead of focusing on what you want to achieve, focus on who you wish to become. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to be. By shifting your focus from outcomes, like, I want to run a marathon, to processes, like, I am a runner, you reinforce the identity you want to build. Over time, your habits become a reflection of your identity, and your identity emerges from your habits. Environment plays a critical role in shaping behavior. Clear argues that people often overlook the power of their surroundings in influencing habits. By designing spaces that make good habits easier and bad habits harder, you set yourself up for success. For example, if you want to practice guitar, keep it within arm's reach. If you want to avoid watching TV, unplug it and put the remote out of sight. Another key insight from Atomic Habits is the plateau of latent potential. Often, progress doesn't seem to happen right away. You might make changes and see no results for weeks or months. However, these efforts are not wasted. They're simply being stored until you reach a breakthrough moment. This is the point where your persistence pays off, and all your small improvements become visible. Clear calls this the valley of disappointment, a period where results lag behind your expectations. The message is to stay patient and trust the process, because the most powerful outcomes are delayed. Clear also explores the role of social influences in habit formation. We tend to imitate the habits of three groups: the close, family and friends; the many, the tribe; and the powerful, those with status and influence. By surrounding yourself with people who embody the habits you want to adopt, you make it easier to change. Social norms can pull you toward positive behaviors or drag you back into old patterns. Measurement and tracking are also crucial. What gets measured gets managed. By keeping track of your habits, you make progress visible, which is motivating in itself. Even something as simple as marking an X on a calendar each day you complete a habit can be a powerful incentive to keep going. Finally, Atomic Habits encourages readers to embrace continuous improvement. There's no finish line when it comes to building better habits. The goal is not to be perfect, but to be better than you were yesterday. Even when you slip up, what matters most is getting back on track quickly. The best way to maintain long-term progress is to never miss twice. In summary, Atomic Habits offers a practical, science-backed blueprint for making small changes that lead to big results. By focusing on the systems that shape our behavior rather than obsessing over goals, we set ourselves up for sustainable success. Whether you want to get fit, be more productive, or simply live a happier life, the principles in this book can help you transform your habits and, ultimately, your life, one small step at a time.